This is the Seahawkers podcast, episode 486. I'm Brandon Schultz of the Military Seahawkers, and I am joined by my good buddy Adam Emmert as we are live on a Friday night ahead of the Seahawks game against the Vikings. How was your Thanksgiving, buddy?
It was pretty ideal. Brittany and I just made chili and just played on the tractor, did some dirt work, and just in time because snow's coming down today. So it was as good as it gets for me. I hope it was a Merry Turkey Day for everybody else out there as well. Fun football on the TV this entire weekend, and I've watched zero of it, but interesting results at the very least. And then we get to see our Seahawks play this coming Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings. Brandon, it's a fun weekend, man.
It's a fun weekend. It's a fun week. The NFL, they did sneak in a Friday game along with those 3 Thursday games. So, yeah, they're making Thanksgiving weekend like a big football weekend, kind of like the Christmas weekend. So it's fun if you have an opportunity to catch all the extra football. Some of the games were kind of iffy, but, gosh, we saw the Cowboys beat the Chiefs. That was an interesting result.
Very interesting. I don't know. That kind of almost puts a fork in the Chiefs for this year. So that's definitely interesting. I honestly wouldn't mind a year without Chiefs football in the playoffs. Like that might be fun to watch.
It feels like we need a break, right?
Yeah. I didn't watch the Eagles game, but you texted me a little bit about that, and it sounds like they just offensively are completely stuck in the mud still. And I mean, it's not a big game, so I don't think Jalen Hurts can play good.
No, he did. Once they were down 2 scores, he was able to start moving the ball a little bit, but by then it was too late. Never coming in too late is Ryan911 with his $9.99 super chat, our YouTube live executive producer, and he's saying, "Go Hawks, go Hawks, Ryan."
Yeah, definitely go Hawks. But interesting to see the Eagles go down. It makes you wonder about their viability as a contender going forward. And with the Seahawks sitting at 8-3, you feel pretty good about our viability as a contender. And we'll see how that goes as kind of the things progress here. But first up is the Minnesota Vikings, and we'll talk a bit about them. I don't know, did you want to touch on Titans much more since, it's end of the week and we were there and all that? I feel like we've, between 3 and 3 out, the live reaction show, we've kind of hit what was a.
I mean, unless you have
affair.
like a really strong take that has carried over until Friday that you really wanted to get out there about this Titans game.
I'm super annoyed that I hear people that didn't really watch the game talk about it and say, "Oh yeah, no, this ended up being a much closer game than any of us expected." And it was like,
no,
yeah,
it wasn't
really.
close.
It wasn't. It
The
was
score was kind of close at the end, but the Titans were never in it. The weirdest thing to me was just, again, how out of the game both sides of as many Seahawks fans as there were there. Like, Titans fans were never in it. Seahawks fans were never in it. That's the game. That's the thing that's going to stick with me from that game. Is that's how ahead we were. Is that Seahawks fans like they weren't even in the game.
I mean, they were early and
A
we
little
made
bit
noise
on third
and-
down.
Absolutely. And again, we were all on vacation too. It was just a matter that we showed up there. That was awesome. So, good. We got Clinton in here with us too. And Eagles stink. That's exactly what you texted me. It's Eagles stink.
Well, they lose to the Bears. The Eagles are a team that I would be just happy not having in the playoffs either. You talk about the Chiefs not being there. I'd be fine with the Eagles not being in the playoffs. Shoot, maybe the Cowboys come back, they win that division, and we can have unclutched Dak in the playoffs rather than the clutchy Hurts.
That's actually a solid point. That'd be interesting. And a defense for the Cowboys that I know has improved since the Quinnen Williams trade and all that. It's not a defense I necessarily fear. So that maybe that would be a benefit. Nope, that's rooting for the Cowboys to do something good. I'm out. Screw that. I can't.
Just root for the Eagles to stink out the rest of the year.
I know, but that may benefit a team that I can't stand even more.
I'm sorry. Sometimes, there's going to have to be some team that comes out of the East. And we'll
they
see.
require it every year. That's for
And
sure.
they do.
That's the East Coast bias right there. That's
Right.
what we see.
So our Seahawks, they have the Minnesota Vikings coming up. And Adam, we've got a new member of the Seahawks on the team who used to be with the team out there wearing number 37, back in his old original number, Quandre Diggs, back with the Seahawks.
This is fun. On a scale of 1 dope to 10 dopes, Brandon, how dope is the re-signing of Quandre Diggs?
It's a 7 dope signing because I think with Ty Okada being injured, it sounds like there is a chance that we might have some Ty Okada out there. He's been playing really well, but it is that injury paired with the Julian Love injury. Julian Love not going to be ready to go in time for this Sunday, which kind of made this a necessity. And the Titans released Quandre Diggs a few weeks back, and so he was out there and available. So if it was, us, if it weren't due to injuries, I would give this more dopes.
That's a good point. I imagine that Q's pretty fired up for this. It's awesome having him back. We've all loved him during his time here in the type of leadership and personality that he brings to the team. It's going to be fun. I do take some solace knowing that, if Okada can't go and obviously no Love this week, that Diggs can come in and just operate. And you heard Mike talk about it in the presser a little bit about how he's already on the calls and all of that stuff. And it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool to see him back out there again if that's what happens here. But I also take some solace in the fact that we got the best of the former Seahawks that Pete Carroll tried to hoover up down there in Las Vegas. And so thanks, Pete, for leaving us Q. I appreciate it.
That would have been disappointing if Q would have gone down to reunite with the Raiders and Tyler Lockett, his good buddy down there. And maybe he was just holding out hope that Seattle would come calling and that he wouldn't have to go there. Down there to Las Vegas.
Well, there you go. So wishes do come true. Welcome back, Quandre. It's gonna be awesome having you here for the remainder of the season.
All right. Well, we are going to be facing off against the Minnesota Vikings this week, and we've got injury news. JJ McCarthy officially ruled out. It is going to be Max Brosmer, and it's interesting because Vikings fans are strangely excited about having the undrafted rookie quarterback out there behind center. As Danny Heifetz's tweet has been going around, JJ McCarthy now ranks 851 out of 852 in EPA per drop back among qualified passers since 2000 per True Media. The only player below McCarthy is Jamarcus Russell. This has been making the rounds, and it made me laugh a little bit.
Oh, well, ditch him then. Can't have that. EPA, that's the only thing that matters in the world. Definitely not the eye test. Definitely not, the idea of patience with a young quarterback. EPA is terrible. Through 6 games of his career, get rid of him. He's a bum.
Well, whenever you're in the same category as Jamarcus Russell, you know that you're doing something incorrectly.
Well, he's not on the purple, so he's going to be doing better than Jamarcus. And I guarantee you he actually watches the film instead of taking the DVDs home and then coming back and being like, they used to give Jamarcus blank DVDs.
Right.
And tell him it was film to watch. And then he would come back and they'd ask him questions about the film on the DVD. And he'd be like, yeah, totally.
Totally watched it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how they knew. I'm actually interested in your JJ McCarthy take. Maybe that's a great place to start because that is the big scuttlebutt around the Vikings right now, and it's a big national story. I got on with the Let's Skull guys just what was it, last night or the night before? We talked a little bit about it, went through some of my thoughts, and I'll kind of reiterate that here. But if you guys are looking for some Viking stuff, they're a great channel to check out. Let's Skull, SKOL, and you can find them there on YouTube. Really cool dudes. Appreciate those guys.
Yeah, check out Adam's interview with them. And I'm curious to hear what you had to say about McCarthy. For me, I guess it comes down to I don't watch enough Vikings this year to really know what his big issue is. The thing that really struck me though, as I was looking at some of the graphics and where the team ranks in certain areas, it goes to EPA. And when I looked at this, because this shows the percentage of run plays that the Vikings are running, the percentage of pass plays, their EPA per run, EPA per pass. And normally you don't see a negative EPA per pass because that's kind of what the EPA people, the expected points average, like they say you should pass more because that's what gets you more points. And the run game not as effective at getting you points on the scoreboard. So that's why you should pass the ball more, right? Well, it turns out that for the Vikings, that strategy should absolutely flip because they actually have a lower negative number with their running plays. They are more effective when they're running the football than they have been when passing the football to this season. That's how it's played out. Yet, they've only ran at a 35% clip. My concern coming into this game, Adam, is that they're going to look at kind of the way that things have been going and the fact that they have a rookie undrafted quarterback, and they're going to go, oh, you know what? We should probably run the ball more against the Seahawks team.
I mean, they could try that. I've got some thoughts on the run-pass ratio and all that stuff with the Vikings here. But first I want to start with EPA. First off, I'm still not completely sure I totally understand exactly how this works. But how does somebody decide on a 2nd and 6 when you run the football and pick up 4 yards, how many points that's worth towards a projected score later down the line or whatever? Honestly, dude, this is one of those newfangled stats that feels like a bunch of fucking nonsense to me.
Well, really I will tell you that if you're using EPA as a predictive stat, I don't think you're doing it correctly. Okay. I think it's more of a way to explain what happened throughout the game and like after the fact. Where did most of your points come from? How efficient were you in certain areas of the game? I don't think it's as predictive as people like to try and use it. I think it's more of a way to explain where you had success versus where you didn't. And at least that's how I view it. Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
I don't know, because if these guys are so smart that they know, like, hey, this would be the play that you run that would guarantee you more points here, like, how come they're not all OCs?
I don't think that there is a way to predict because you're facing a defense that also has the ability to kind of have an idea of what you might want to do based on down and distance and call a defense that counteracts what you might want to do based on down and distance. And so there's really there's no way to play the game of football through an analytics dashboard and have it be it's just not.
Oh, I just want to know who sets the expectation of this expected points per whatever.
Yeah. No, I think that
what makes them the authority, A, and then B, like, how did they ever calculate? I don't know. I just don't like the metric, but a metric that I do think is useful.
It's a metric measuring how many yards a team has passed for or rushed for in a season.
No, that seems pretty like black and white. Like, you gain 3 yards or you didn't, and then you write it down. That's 3, and then you add it in or subtract it. Like, that's something that's very black and white. This EPA stuff is a bit of wizardry. I think there's a live chicken involved. Like,
the math is more complicated. I will give you that.
Yeah, which means it's probably wrong.
Okay.
But a metric that I do think has merit, though, Brandon, is run-pass ratios. And we're looking at it right here with the Seahawks and Vikings. And you got the Seahawks, 51% throwing the football, 48.7% running the football. Pretty much dead average. They're one of the top teams in the league in terms of how often they run. But when you look at the Vikings, 65.3% pass plays and 34.7% run plays. And you look at that, and it's the 5th highest amount of passing in the league. And this is where it all comes back to the J.J. McCarthy thing for me. I think there are 2 things that happened here that are really crushing J.J. and making it difficult for him starting out. And they're both organizational. So the phrase, young quarterbacks are failed by organizations more than young quarterbacks fail their organizations, that keeps running through my head when I've gone back and looked at a fair amount of JJ stuff. And make no mistake, there's a lot of bad tape out there. It hasn't been good, but you haven't really put him from the get-go in opportunity to succeed. So the first part is idea that you get the rookie quarterback and then you try to build a team around him real quick and microwave a Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl while the quarterback is on his rookie deal. Since 2011, when the rookie wage scale was implemented, Brandon, we've talked about this. I'll see if you remember. How many quarterbacks have won the Super Bowl on their rookie deal in those 14 years?
Russ was on his rookie deal.
Yep.
Oh, so, okay, we're going back how many years now?
11.
11?
Back to 2011.
Okay.
So 14
Mahomes won one on his rookie deal.
And, like, he was signed right about there. Yeah. So you can say 1 to 2, and that's it. That's it.
That's
one of the biggest. That's the list. That's one of the biggest misnomers in all of football of how to microwave a Super Bowl. And it's a great way to, quote, build a team. And so for this year with JJ, the Vikings, they move on from Sam. Okay, that's what you're doing. And then they put it all on JJ, and they're like, hey, we're going to do this right now. We're going to get this guy that we believe in on his rookie deal and then bring in all these veterans that are here to win now, even though he's one of the youngest QBs in the league that's coming from a system that didn't give him a ton of opportunities in terms of throwing the rock. And they're like, yeah, here we go. Yeah, take us home, JJ. So the expectations to start with were through the freaking roof on this kid that had missed his entire rookie year due to injury. And good luck getting better when you're injured. Like, that's tough. And then they bring him in for this season, get rid of the veteran, and put all these expectations on him. And then KOC lost this thing for this team and really put it on this path back in OTAs. Because as Mike Salk says over and over again, and I still believe that he stole it from us, but whatever, you got to run the ball to be good at running the football. And so in OTAs and everything, Kevin O'Connell didn't change his way that he coaches a team and the way that he calls plays to accentuate the strengths of his quarterback. When McCarthy was at Michigan, what did they do well? They ran the ball right down your throat, play action, and kind of kept things in a very Sam Darnold with the Seahawks type offense. And then he goes to Minnesota and they're 5th highest in the league throwing the rock, and they're not helping him out with a run game, which puts his offensive line at a disadvantage, and then he's getting more pressure. And then on the third down conversions, you're throwing the ball more than anybody in the league, and you're the worst at it. Like, Kevin O'Connell has failed this poor guy from the beginning, and he's now 6 games in, and Vikings fans are getting out not just one bus, but they're getting the whole district of schools buses out there and running him over with all the axles at once and can't wait to get rid of him for a guy that, in Brosmer, who is an undrafted free agent, and they act like this is the next coming of Tom Brady. It blows my mind. It blows my mind.
It was interesting going back and watching some of Max Brosmer's stuff from preseason too, and thinking that giving KOC maybe some of the credit that maybe they will start to run the football more, because that's all I can think is that they should, because they're making this quarterback shift. I don't know if they will. And it's really tough too when you look at some of those percentages, 65-35, and you can say, well, it's because the Vikings, they're not a very good team this year, so a lot of times they're playing from behind. That would lead you to pass the ball more. I don't think that that's the case, though. When I went back and watched a lot of the preseason Brosmer stuff, I was surprised at, oh my gosh, they have him back in gun so much, and it's preseason. Why are we not getting your rookie quarterback up to speed by, I don't know, running the football a little bit more? And while it was great to see just how what to expect from Brosmer maybe during the passing, or seeing what you can expect from him in the passing game a little bit, I see that exactly what you're saying, that offensively they've set this up to be a very much primary passing team, and I don't think that that's going to work out for them with either of these quarterbacks.
The funny thing is number one, JJ McCarthy had an excellent preseason game before he tore his knee, and everybody was hyped about it. And then we see what the results have been so far this year. Brosmer goes out there against the 3s and the 4s and performs decently, and everybody's losing their mind. Oh, when he comes in, he's going to be great. Yeah, okay. We'll see. It's a big difference starting a preseason game and then coming to Lumen Field as an undrafted free agent against this defense with this team clicking on all cylinders as it is. Good fucking luck, buddy. Like he's going to be in a world of hurt there. I actually feel bad for Brosmer in the position he's put in. But the funny part, you keep mentioning the idea of like, well, maybe they'll get to run the football more. It's hilarious listening to all the Vikings fans and different Vikings podcasts and all that stuff. And I've got some Vikings news throughout the year. For whatever reason, they kind of filtered into my listening a little bit more this year. And it's not going to happen, bud. Like, seriously, KOC spent like a summer with Ryan Grubb or something. Maybe they like had a Freaky Friday switch or something like that. Or, I mean, KOC's always like throwing the football, but he's the last of the McVay / Shanahan disciples and all that to really change and get to running the football more. Now, they are playing under center quite a bit. They're, one of the top 10, 11 teams in getting under center. But the interesting part is they're in the bottom third in the league on play action. So they don't even do the things out of being under center on the regular that really help a guy out. So there's just a lot going on with this Vikings offense that just doesn't make sense. It feels like it's a coach that these are my plays, this is my system, and these guys need to run my system. Mm-hmm. And he's treating these young dudes as if they're Kirk Cousins with a wealth of experience, or even Wentz, or whoever else you want to point to. It's a disaster from KOC. He needs to adjust. We'll see if he does it this week. But in the second half against the Packers, when they're just down one score at one point, 2 runs the entire second half.
That's wild.
2. Yeah.
And this is a team that doesn't have a bad offensive line either. Darisaw at left tackle, O'Neal at right tackle. Will Fries is, I think, allowed the most pressure of all the offensive linemen, but he's not having necessarily. He's only given up 1 sack. Like, I would take Fries over what we have at right guard. Kelly's one of the better centers in the league. Donovan Jackson, who is going to be out this game. He was ruled out along with J.J. McCarthy, so they're going to be down their starting left guard. They have a good offensive line. They have a good running back. Aaron Jones, and they had the other pickup from the Niners.
Jordan Mason, who's a heck of a back.
Jordan Mason, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be what helps McCarthy. And it turns out that they decide not to go that way. We've got CJK04 coming in saying they need to play the short pass more and not leave 2 safeties high. I don't know if CJK04 went and watched the Max Brosmer tape too, but this would definitely be the strategy, because it's drop back, then wait for the check down to come open, and Brosmer dumps it off to the check down. He did have a few nice long passes in the preseason, but they were few far in between. Like, this is going to be the Brosmer strategy when he drops back to pass. So load up the box, probably see some blitzing coming. They definitely need to defend the short pass and make Brosmer try and beat you deep.
Yeah, you're going to have to dare him to do that. Mike really likes playing his shell coverage, and he talks about it a lot. I don't think that they're going to get out of that a whole ton, but you can play up on the receivers a little bit more and drop your zones down to a little shallower levels and all of that stuff, because Brosmer's an intermediate to short passer. That's what he is. That's what he was in college. That's what we saw at Shrine Bowl. He's a one read and let it go or run type guy. At least that's what we observed down there in Dallas.
Well, we observed the running part, but the dude is not a runner.
He's not a runner.
I think going back and looking at his time in college, and I guess I didn't go back to his New Hampshire FCS stats, but he had negative rushing yards for his final college year. And I think during the preseason and what we've seen from this, he may have 10 yards rushing tops. He's not a runner. He's very much a pocket passer.
For sure. And I feel bad for the kid, this being his first start in all of that. Just a really difficult situation. And when I was talking to the Let's Skull guys, and we were kind of doing our predictions, one of the fellas, Fish, he had Vikings winning like 32-27 or something like that. And I couldn't stop freaking laughing. I was like, there is zero universe in which there's a chance that the Vikings score 25 points or more in this game. It's an impossibility. That is a 0% chance. There is no effing way. Sam could still throw 4 picks in this game, and they will not score 25 points.
Inside
it will
the 20-yard line?
Yeah, it won't happen. It's impossible.
That is one question that I do have coming into this game against the Vikings because it's his former team. How much is Sam going to consider this a big game?
I don't know. It's hard to say. But I think what we've come to expect from Sam at this point, now that we're getting on to the last third of the season here, is that it's pretty obvious that each and every game he's going to give the other team the opportunity at the football at least twice. It's just kind of what he does. It's a part of his game, and he hasn't solved it yet. We'll see if he can going down the stretch. So I expect that the Vikings will have a couple opportunities to pick off Sam here. Now, apparently they're down to 3 DBs is what I was told. And if that's the case, we'll see if any one of those 3 dudes can make it happen. And when you look at Rodgers and Murphy out there outside, those aren't world beaters either. And I could just see JSN having himself another massive day in really just, this could look a lot like the Titans game to me, except for Brosmer can't scramble to his right, falling out of bounds, throw across his body to one wide open guy. And can
You're saying that there's a difference between an undrafted rookie free agent starting at quarterback and the number 1 pick overall starting at quarterback?
Yeah, and the number 1 pick who had the entire front part of the season to start and get reps and be ready to go. So I think this is going to be just a really, really difficult day for the Minnesota Vikings offense, considering they are so one-dimensional, and then having a young guy behind center as well. Just tough sledding, man.
Well, speaking of JSN, I want to get to that in a second. But first, Dogzilla Monster saying, what if Brosman gets benched and we face Wofford? Wofford, their practice squad quarterback. They also picked up Desmond Ridder as another
the Riddler
quarterback.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's going to be their backup. Shoot, we might end up seeing some Wofford in this game, huh?
Hey, if we see Wolford, I'm good with it. Like, hey, let's go. I can't wait to eat his lunch too. This defense does not play down to their competition, and they really bring it. This is, again, the best defense in the NFL, bar none. I truly believe that, and you're coming into their house to try to take on the Seahawks with that quadre of, QBs there. That's just good luck, man. Just best of luck. It's almost hilarious.
Well, JSN on the season. I saw this post from Scott Barrett out on X saying top receiving yards per team pass attempt seasons in NFL history. And it seems like every week we have this new weird JSN stat. And this is how much of the volume has been going to JSN that he's ranked up here with the likes of NFL legends Jim Benton, Harlan Hill, both guys from the 1940s and 50s, along with a bunch of other guys from the 40s.
Come on. Hirsch. You cannot say Elroy Hirsch and Lance Aldworth were just some guys.
No, they were really good players. But
they're really good players. But Crazy Legs? Yeah.
These are guys from the 40s, 50s, and Allworth from the 60s. So that's probably the name that people here at least recognize the most from this list. But it just shows you by volume how much one guy is leading this offense in the passing game. And there is JSN at number 3.
I love it. I didn't need the YPTPA stat to tell me that. Like, just another made up over. Like, this is the, Flathead Lake is the largest freshwater lake west of the Mississippi, non-man made, like all that stuff. Put enough qualifiers on something that sounds good. All you got to do is look at. All you got to do is look at total passing yards for the Seahawks, and you look at JSN's numbers, and he's got a buttload of receiving yards. And you can be like, "Oh, look at that! He's crushing it. He's the majority of their offense when it comes to the passing yards."
Yeah, that's exactly what this post says. So,
yeah, okay, with another made up YPTPA. Yeah, that's a number I've been very interested in. What is wrong with just regular stats? Like, why did we get rid of these?
We've also got a Devin Witherspoon stat from Hawk Blogger out on X. Witherspoon, the second highest graded cornerback in the NFL this season, 83.4 per PFF. Does that surprise you?
No. I mean, in terms of the way Spoon's been playing and the type of talent that he is, does it surprise me that PFF is recognizing it correctly? Yeah, that surprises me a little bit, because we've all, I think, gotten to a place with PFF as fans where we're like, okay, we use PFF to put up the numbers that support our argument, and then the ones that don't, we just throw out and pretend like they don't exist, because it is so all over the place.
This is a good one.
Yeah. So again, another one of these where I don't need PFF to tell me that Spoon is a baller and he's just rocking it out there and bringing double dubs to us like he is with his glasses there.
All right, another post here from Mookie Alexander, the managing editor at Field Goals. This one is a little bit concerning. As we talk about the JSN stat, Jackson Smith and Jigba, very, very good. Mm-hmm. This is another one that I feel like is a week-to-week concern that we bring up with this team. And he points out that Torrey Horton, before his injury, 13 catches, 161 yards, 5 touchdowns. Very productive for a rookie wide receiver. Unfortunately, he does get injured, goes to injured reserve. And since then, the non-JSN wide receivers combined in the last 3 games that Horton has missed, 10 catches, 151 yards, 0 touchdowns. And as Mookie points out, the non-JSN wide receivers are literally just Cooper Kupp and Rashid Shaheed. White and Bobo have 0 targets.
Okay, and, I can see that to a degree. I mean, one of those 3 games is the second Cardinals game, right, where we had 13 dropbacks?
Right.
So that skews a little bit.
That skewed a little bit.
And
because White had the one nice touchdown against the Commanders, but that was a game that Torrey Horton played in, so that's also left off of this.
Right. And then, let's see, what would the next game have been? Okay, Rams game, and look, Sam, I can't blame the receivers. Sam was having an awful day seeing it and was really struggling. So I don't know how much I put into this stat, because I do believe that Shaheed is going to come on here at some point, and they are going to find a way to work him in and use his talents, because he is not a dud. This dude is a legit WR2 in this league. No doubt about it. I mean, Cup's Cup, he'll do whatever he does. And look, I'd almost like to see a little more Cody White out there. I feel like he's earned the right with some of his play recently, and just what we've seen in practice from him over the years. Just a spectacular catcher of the football. So am I concerned about this? Not really, because ultimately I haven't seen one defense be able to take JSN and just shut him down. Not one.
Right. We haven't seen that yet. It's also, it discounts the fact that I think that A.J. Barner is receiving option number 2. K9 should probably be receiving option number 3. And then if you want to put out whoever as wide receiver 4, whether it's Shaheed, whether it's Kupp, whether it's Arroyo, any of those guys, once you get down to the 4th guy getting the targets, it doesn't much matter.
It really doesn't. And especially in an offense where we actually do run the ball a fair amount. So at the end of the day, there's not going to be a crap ton of opportunities. And they asked Mike about this in his presser recently here too. Hey, how do you balance getting other guys touches, and then also JSN's your best player, so make sure to get him the ball. And, he just kind of laughed, said it was a good problem to have, and, they're doing their best with it. I'm not concerned about it at this point. When I see a defense go out there and actually lock up JSN, which that defense doesn't exist this year, then I'll start to get worried about it.
It's definitely not going to be the Minnesota Vikings. I don't see the personnel that they have being able to find a way to do that. It doesn't seem possible to me.
The only way that's possible is if the very aggressive Brian Flores is really bringing the house a ton in this game, and it does rattle Sam enough to where he's having a hard time getting the ball to the receivers, then that could make it so the JSN numbers maybe don't look great. But I don't think that's going to be, because if you go back and watch it the day after and look at the all 22, and you'll see JSN cooking everybody still. So in that case, it still wouldn't even be a JSN problem at that point. But we'll see. I have a feeling that Kubiak's going to be smart about this. He's going to have quick, short options that are available for Sam on every given play, so that when the blitz does come, and it's going to come, Flores blitz like 60% of the time, that he's going to go ahead and be able to have that quick release valve and get the ball out of his hands. I think that that's going to be there for him.
Well, we've seen other teams try and throw the blitz at the Seahawks too, and we've seen Jax be the guy who is the outlet receiver in those instances, and Sam's found a way to hit him. I think that could be a way that Kupp then could find a way to be more involved in this game. And
he can still run 4 steps and turn around. He can do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I am worried, I guess, of anybody on this Vikings defense. It would be that the guys in the front 4 there, because you got Jonathan Grenard, who is outstanding. You've got Javon Hargrave, who still is a really good player. And while Grenard hasn't put up the sack numbers, I think you're still gonna see some of the pressures come from Grenard, even with him going up against Cross, or whether it's Zabel that they have him stunting inside and trying to get Zabel. I think that's likely where you're going to see the pressure coming from against the Vikings.
I'm guessing you're going to see it more out of the off-ball linebackers with a lot of like AA gap blitzes and things like that. So I expect to see actually a lot of Sharps in this game, because I have a feeling that they're going to want him in there as a possible pass blocker a little more often than K9, which really does bum me out a little bit. Okay. I mean, maybe. He saw him in practice. It's not
Are you reacting to Tapwater saying Darnold's seen these blitzes for a year, so he should pick them up?
Yeah. I mean, maybe. We'll see.
Your confidence has dropped a little bit in Darnold in these past 2 weeks.
Yes, and I think rightfully so. I mean, I'm just taking the information that he is providing for us and putting that in the context of everything he's done in his career, and what he's done well and what he hasn't, and the things he's done well here in Seattle and the things that he's still struggling at. And I feel like it's crazy to not have at least some concern about where Sam is as a quarterback right now in terms of taking care of the football and dealing with pressure.
Rockman Drum saying Sam just needs to relax and rip it fast or roll out of pressure. And hey, 7-Eleven is always open. I think that there's something to this, because we've seen Sam, when he has most of his success, is when he drops back and he's ripping it. It's not when the problems come in when he drops back. He doesn't quite see if something's there, and then he gets a little bit of pressure, and then he throws it into an area where he probably shouldn't. And so that's probably the coaching point, right? Is that, hey, it's okay that if it's not there right away, then you're either dirting it. It's okay to take the sack. He hasn't taken a lot of sacks. I don't think he wants to get sacked. But, or, hey, dump it off to the check down dude.
For sure. And look, what Sam Darnold does really well is he's great at play action and playing in rhythm and hitting that back foot and letting it rip, or just playing back foot, not there, hitch one, get to 2, and go from there. When things start to get out of rhythm is when things get really chaotic for him. And unfortunately, he's not a Russell Wilson type player who really thrived in that chaos. And that was the thing that made him special. It's the opposite of what Sam Darnold is. So when he gets that far out of whack on a play, when things are just not coming together the way that they should, then yes, that's when you got to get into more of a conservative mode. The other part about him just, relaxing and ripping it. Look, if you're in a game where the defense is absolutely dominating and it's a close game, or you're up 1 score or something like that, no, you don't have to sit back there and just play YOLO and rip it. You're in a close game. Your defense is the best part of your team. Lean on that. Lean on your running game. Be able to go ahead and throw it away or take that sack and live to fight another day. Punting is not the end of the world. It's not. Interceptions, especially like pick sixes, those are the end of the world.
Yeah, it can make a bad team end up making it a whole lot closer.
Yeah.
Like the Rams. Like, how would they have beaten us without those 4 picks that Sam threw? They wouldn't
have. They wouldn't have. That's the long and short of it.
All right. Stat comparison between the offense and the defense in these two teams. You got the Seahawks way out ahead of the Vikings with 6.3 yards per play to the Vikings 5. Much more efficient at scoring points, and we've already talked about that run-pass ratio. Completion percentage, almost 10 points higher than the Minnesota Vikings. Third down conversion percentage, almost 10 points higher than the Minnesota Vikings. And slight edge in red zone scoring percentage at 5%.
Absolutely. And of all the stats that just really jump out at me here is third down conversion percentage, and being nearly 10 percentage points higher on third downs is a massive advantage. And I can't imagine that third down percentage going up against this defense with a rookie quarterback. So really that's where it's at for me. I think there's going to be I'm going to say 4 3-and-outs for the Vikings in this game, at least.
That's at least. Okay. I would hope at least 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of drives that the Hawks snuff out after they convert 1 third down and they never get into range to score or anything like that. So I'm being a little conservative with that, at least 4.
Yeah. On the defensive side, the Hawks allowing 4.6 yards per play, half a yard less than the Vikings defense. Points per play, they are limiting other teams much more effectively than the Vikings. Completion percentage, this one's very close, 65% for the Vikings, 63% for the Seahawks. But considering the other passing numbers and the rookie quarterback, I think that completion percentage should be below 60% in this game for the defense. And opponent third down conversion percentage, again, very similar, but Seahawks have the edge, 35% to 37%.
Absolutely. And I do see the opponent red zone scoring percentage here. And you also have to keep in mind, like, Seahawks have been put in a couple bad spots by bad turnovers down right by the goal line and do a yeoman's job there. So again, a number that I think is a little misleading when you look at the tape in comparison to the stats.
About a 10% swing between the two defenses. The Vikings only allowing just under 50%, 48%, and Seahawks at about 57%.
Yeah, but I do look for the Seahawks to improve all of those defensive stats right there on the side of the screen dramatically after this game. Like, all those numbers are going to look better after this game and facing this offense.
Yep. Adam Patrick of the Viking Age, he posted out this week, or he had an article on the Viking Age talking about maybe what to expect from an undrafted rookie quarterback making his first start. There's only 5 instances where a rookie quarterback, at least I think since 1970 or whatever that cutoff line, the Super Bowl era, but 5 instances of an undrafted rookie quarterback making their first start on the road against an opponent with a wicked. I can't even say it.
A wicked winning record, buddy. Yeah,
a wicked winning record. Yes, against an opponent with a winning record, and they've averaged 49% completion rate, 270 passing yards, and throwing a total of 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, and just 1 victory for an undrafted quarterback against a winning team.
I ripped a few stats earlier in this podcast, and I can look at all of those stats right there and recognize those are all dog water. That's not good. And that's going to be, if Brosmer comes out and performs to that level, maybe 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 52% completion, puts up 210 yards. It's a blowout. It's a blowout favoring the Seahawks.
That feels about right. Well, one guy that we'll have to thank for it being a blowout, Adam, is the other major signing. We talked about Quandre Diggs. We have not talked about this major signing for the Seahawks, as they have picked up Cam Akers, former Vikings running back and former Rams running back. Adam, did we need to pick up Cam Akers from the Vikings so we could get some of that sweet, sweet intel ahead of this Sunday's matchup with the Vikings?
Who?
Cam Akers. I feel like you've heard of him, and you're messing with me.
Oh, was that the guy that everybody was trying to shove down my throat when he was with the LA Rams and telling me about how good he was? He ended up in the doghouse because he really couldn't process the playbook, and McVay couldn't stand him. And so then has bounced around the league for like the last 3 or 4 years and has done precisely jack and shit. And then he was just with the Vikings, and the guy that doesn't process playbooks well, he's the guy I'm supposed to get excited about bringing intel in. Like, I could care less about this signing. I hope he's off the team next week. I can't stand ex-Rams. Get out of my life. I don't need you.
Yeah, it's interesting to see him show up on the team. And it's disappointing because George Holani, he's going to be out for this week. And, we could use him because Cam Akers, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a reason why the Seahawks, other than for some of that Vikings intel, why do you? There's got to be somebody else that you can bring in. Like there have to be.
Jarcadia Wright, is he around still?
He's still on the team, right? Why can't we bring him up from the practice squad?
Hey, he may be above Cam when it comes to game day here. I would elevate him above Cam Akers at this point in his career. Well, really at any point in his career.
Cam Akers had one good year with the Rams, and it was okay.
It was okay. Yeah, I was going to say he had one okay year with the Rams and had to listen to that entire offseason of all the national talking heads talking about how great Cam Akers was. And it was like, I don't think that word means what you think it means.
He was good at running through open holes.
Huzzah. Yeah, amazing. Hooray for Cam Akers.
If you are joining us here live, give us a like, subscribe to this if it is your first time here. Big thanks to everybody tuning in live.
If you hate former Rams the way that I do, hit the like button.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way to do it. All right. Well, Adam, as we get into the second half of the show, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
Has the chain gang been eliminated? Have we seen in any NFL game this season? Because I know to the start of the season, in preseason, they had this grand old idea they were going to do this electronic spot measurement. They were going to put it up on the scoreboard, and we were going to see that where the ball was in relation to the first down. Have we seen the physical chains been brought onto the field in any NFL game this year, or are the officials just free to call first downs if they think it's close?
I can't recall seeing it, to be honest. Because, they were going to do like the 7-camera triangulation of the ball and use more math, which you all understand how I feel about math after this show. But, I don't know that I have seen the chain gang come out. And I can't believe I haven't seen a coach just melt down over this. And, like, why? What was so wrong with the chain gang? Like, that really didn't take all that much time in comparison than the stupid replay stuff that takes forever because, the official gets all, like, anal retentive about, like, was it at 24.2 seconds on the play clock or was it this? And, like, they take some, 45 minutes to figure that out when we're all looking at the screen being like, wasn't a fumble, 2nd and 6, it's at, 8:02 left in the third, let's go.
The thing that demonstrated it the most for me, going back to the game against the Titans, the Cam Ward rush on 4th down, and it looked to be very close whether or not he got it. They called first down. Mike McDonald challenged it. And not at no point in that entire sequence did they bring out the chains and actually go, oh, well, here's how close it was. It's a first down. No, it was short. They just called it, and we all accepted it that it was called first down, even though the replay showed, and of course, Coach Mike threw the challenge flag on it, saying that, oh, well, I think it should at least be, considered that maybe he didn't get it. And because the ruling on the field was that he got it, it's not going to go the coach's way. It baffled me that is the type of play that all throughout my life watching NFL football, we would see the chain gang come out and give us at the very least a measurement to where the ref could signal the first down. And to not see it on that play, that's another thing that stuck with me since this Titans game.
It's weird. Like we don't get to see like, oh, they're 2 chain links short of a first down. I don't quite understand it. I don't know why we're throwing that out of the game. It's simple. It's effective. It's quick. I just, what didn't work about that? Like I can understand putting the GPS in the ball and using that to try to get it down to where, the take some of the error out of spotting for the officials. But with that said, I mean, if you really look at the way the officials in their success rate in terms of spotting the football throughout a football game, it's really high. They do a heck of a job. I'm constantly impressed, to be honest. So honestly, it feels like making things complicated for the sake of integrating some technology. We'll probably have some AI nonsense come in to like explain first downs here in another year or two.
Or maybe the chain gang's just gone for good. Maybe the officials are so good at it that the NFL just decided, well, we're just going to defer to what the officials say in those close situations. And if they call it close in favor of one team, that's what it's going to be. If they call it close in favor of the other, they've shown that they're usually pretty good.
Maybe the cheap ass owners have just gotten tired of buying like exactly 10 yards worth of chain for every season. And they're just like, can't have that. Need to cut some costs. My billions are going down.
That's what we need to check. Is there even a chain between the two sticks anymore?
I don't know. What if they went to string? It'd be even worse. It'd be stretchy. Gosh, that'd be awful.
Oh yeah, you can't go to string. You got to.
I don't know. I don't know why we have to make things complicated for no reason. It drives me nuts.
Or get rid of something that's been part of football for a really long time.
Yeah. I guess I've never heard anybody complain about like, just these measurements, man, I just can't have them. Like, it's just too much.
We had the one index card incident, and that's like in all of the years of football, like that was the one thing that you can point to and go, yeah, that was weird.
That was weird. That was it. Yeah, but we still don't know what a freaking catch is. You know, and it takes forever to figure out replays. And then now we've got Sky Daddy ref that phones in every now and then and weird moments that isn't exactly consistent. It's been okay. I mean, it's just, I guess I'm still not clear as to when they're allowed to use Sky Daddy and when they're not. But
don't think about it.
But also not like. So good luck, man. They still got a lot of work to do, and I'm sure the competition committee will review some of this offseason. But one thing we can say is they're all anti-chain. They just don't like chains.
I know people who are pro-chain and who are also pro-Sky Daddy because we call them Sky Daddy. It's our executive producers, DCH, Ryan Peterson, our YouTube Live executive producer, and Brian Shaw. And we've got Adam, Stephen, Kirkpatrick coming in with the score donation, $30.24.
Dude, awesome. Appreciate it, Stephen. That was a fun game to be at. And yeah, that could have been worse. That could have been harder on Stephen's pocketbook pretty easily, I think. But, Seahawks kind of throwing things back there towards the end.
Also got a new YouTube member, Other Andy, coming in via YouTube. So welcome to the flock to Other Andy. Hell
yeah. Welcome, Other Andy. That's better than, the one Andy that I really know well, the one that we grew up with, one of my best friends growing up. And I'll take Other Andy. That's got to be an upgrade.
It's got to be. I'm glad he differentiated from the actual Andy that we know by calling himself Other Andy.
Yeah.
John Bosch in at $36 for the year. Welcome to the flock to John.
Heck yeah, man. Appreciate that for the full year too. I love that. Like people having that much confidence in us that they're willing to kind of front load it, that's appreciated.
Always appreciate that. And Jay Owens back in the flock at $12 a month. Welcome back, Jay.
Welcome back, man. Yeah. Wasn't the same without you. So the way the season's going and the Seahawks winning along, I think people are getting excited and want to be a part of the community as we go forward because it's fun to celebrate together.
Also wanted to add to the executive producer list, Adam, because John and Jenny covering drinks for us out there in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So executive producer credit going out to John and Jenny. Those real nice.
Those guys are awesome, man. And all of you guys that we got to sit with there, Jeremy and Rochelle and just everybody. It was great, man. And yeah, Jenny's a keeper, dude. Like John batted way out of his league. She's awesome. She's awesome. And I'm saying that with John being like pretty awesome himself. So like for him to bat out of his league, like he had to pull down something good there.
It was very well done. And big thanks to Aaron, who we also saw along with his dad, Aaron, giving us some gifts of spices and some ice cream.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Me and Britt were going through some of those just today. And
ice cream
I think
bread,
we're going to implement.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was super tasty. And yeah, we're looking at some of those rubs that he brought us, and you have to go check it out. Like, they make cool stuff.
And also an executive producership to Mark, who also helped cover drinks. And I know chatted you up throughout the game. Mark brought his whole family, and we had a good time.
Yeah, man. Mark, great dude. Godzilla Hawk, which I can never say in live and real life. Like, it just all slurs together a little too much. You nailed it right there, though. Yeah, well, blind squirrels, right? You find it out every once in a while. But Mark was great. Appreciate you, man. And it was a great time hanging with you and being able to chat throughout the game.
All right, Adam. Well, as we thank our executive producers, we also have another member of the flock who is coming in this week. We missed her last week, but she's back.
Wow.
It's Evie. Dear underlings, yes, it is Evie, our Pick'em League overlord, coming in and saying, a 2-week update for you. Apologies for my absence last week. Dad was away on a speaking tour and managed to log himself out of the account on the home laptop, so I couldn't see the results. He is home this week, and I have told him to do better. Last week, the Seahawks lost to the Rams. I know it hurts. Not sure Dad is over it yet. I know why, though. 3 of you picked the Rams to win. Rick Wangler, Cal Martin, and Obu's daddy. Obu's daddy was the winner last week with 14 correct picks. However, for the outrageous picking of the Rams, his pick must be changed. As the other 2, Brandon, you know what to do, and is disqualified from that week's weekly winner competition. That means that Love Is All We Need was the Week 11 winner. Adam, Evie, the Pick'em Overlord, coming in strong and slapping down anyone who would choose the Rams and then win the weekly Pick'em.
Hammered down. Like, Evie not screwing around here. I love it. And this is why I defer to her as my Pick'em Overlord. It's why I can follow her leadership blindly in this situation, because she understands just how egregious it is to choose the Rams over the Hawks in our Pick'em League. Come on, man. Can't be doing that.
We had 3 people in our Pick'em League select the Rams. Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions, 3 of them that were his fault. I would like to
4
think
of them were his fault.
No, I'm saying 3 because then it equates to the number of people that picked against the Rams, and so it's just a much cleaner blame game there.
I see. Maybe just one was Sam's fault at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good.
All right, because the other 3 were the fault of the
yes,
the aforementioned teams that picked the Rams. All right.
That's right. Screwed up the whole Hawkra.
Thanks a lot, guys. This week, the DCH is the winner with 12 correct picks and the closest points prediction. Dad also finished on 12 correct, but was clearly anticipating a score fest and was 12 points over on his prediction. Overall, G. Haley is on top with 128 correct, but a very dull name. Second is Obu's daddy and Wirehawks on 127. However, with the pick change, Wirehawks will have sole possession of second on 127, and Obu's daddy will drop to third on 126 and should also be questioning some life choices. There are then 4 tied for fourth to make up the top 5 places. Barry, the WC, Boise Hawk, Love Is All We Need, and Dad, who is hanging around the top 5 as ever, just to drop out on the last week and not get a prize like every year. He still claims his 2 6th places in 3 years are some of his best, or are some of his life's biggest frustrations and disappointments. I could think of a few more for him. Have a wonderful week. I'm off timetable at school today to start to build my set for my final drama setting assessment. Wish me luck. Go Hawks.
Ooh.
From Evie.
Hey, get after it, Evie. I would love to see if you do happen to send in a photo of the set that you guys build. That's really impressive to think about that. It's hilarious to hear Evie say that about Hugh, being like, I can think of more. Reminds me very much of my daughter, and I appreciate that, because the is does not let anything slide. That's for sure.
No, she will always. That's one thing kids are really good for, letting you know when you've made disappointing life choices.
Yeah, just what a failure you are as a parent. and not wrong for me anyway.
The kids should be lucky that we don't point out all their failures and that we just love them unconditionally.
Yeah, if you want me to be a worse dad, I'll go that route. Like, we go that way. Yeah.
All right. On to do better and better at life.
All right, Brandon. My do better this week, honestly, kind of ties into a little bit about the cameras and the cross sections of trying to figure out the football position and all of that. You were with me when I just about burned down the Salt Lake airport after I had one of two experiences over the weekend in a new form of shopping that I can only describe as blatantly unconstitutional. Like that's the best way that I can put it. So for those of you who haven't experienced this yet, this is something new that they've tried to implement here. So at the Titans game, basically I went to go get some pizza. You walk up and instead of paying at the end after you pick out your stuff and then they can see your stuff and then you buy your stuff and then you walk out, what you do is you scan your card and you just grab the things and then you walk out and you just hope for the best. Like, no real explanation, nothing like that. But I was very confused by that. And the lady at the end is like, oh, no, we saw, we're good. And I was like, yeah, okay. And like, couldn't quite figure it out. And again, they charge you like $25 up front. And then if you didn't spend the whole 25, then they credit it back, which just gives Visa like more transaction fees. So good for them too. Like, what a fucking scam this is. And so then we get to the Salt Lake airport and similar setup. You walk in. Now they have the payment at the end this time, but there's a gal standing there, but she's not by a register. There are no registers. There's zero registers. There's just a card scanny dealy. And then you walk out. I was like, well, how in the world does this work? And she's like, well, look up. And so you look up, and in a room that was maybe, 20 by 25?
Yeah.
20 by 30? Tiny little airport Hudson News store. There was probably 7,000 fucking cameras in the ceiling, Brandon. That's an exaggeration. It was probably closer to 50 to 75.
Yeah, like maybe 40. I don't know.
It was a ton. All it was, you can't walk in there and have a flea fart and them not know about it. Like, this is a complete violation of your Fourth Amendment privacy rights. You're being, like, just watched and scanned everywhere you go. I will not participate in this bullshit. Like, this is such a level up from walking into your local Walmart and knowing that there's a camera on, the posts, like, here and there, all over the store. Okay, fine. I guess I can get to there. This is beyond 1984. This is one of the most suppressive things I've ever seen in my life. I hate this crap. Get all these cameras out of my life. Stop watching me and do better. God.
The thing is for everybody listening, I tried to warn him too, because I knew that he had this experience at the game. And for anybody who's been to a game at CenturyLink, you probably, or at Lumen, see, I'm calling it the old name, but at Lumen Field, you probably experienced this through the drink line. You scan your card first. It's really not a whole lot different than when you check into a hotel and they put the, amenities, they charge your card in case you end up drinking.
The difference is there isn't 70 freaking cameras in your room when you do it. Like, watching your every move, be like, oh, you took a towel. We'll put that on your bill too.
Yeah. So it's a little bit different. I tried to warn you, though. When I saw you walk into that store, I said, I don't think you can shop here. And you went in anyway.
You were right.
And now we're having to hear about it. So
when you said, I don't think you can shop there, I thought like maybe my picture was on the wall or something. I've been banned before, or it didn't dawn on me that I was underneath like some massive AI surveillance state and Big Brother was watching my Twix purchase. Like, what a freaking joke, dude. I hate this crap. This needs to go immediately.
See, they're going to know that now when I walk into one of those stores, I expect like all of the candy to switch out and only be like Reese's peanut butter cups. Like, if it could do that and have me like cater to my needs, then I'm pro surveillance.
That's just what we need. More freaking algorithms catering to our tiny little TikTok brains that have no room for reason anymore. I hate this, man. I hate it so much. That lit my hair on fire in the airport. And I kind of degraded the poor gal a little bit. But then I thought I came around and tried to make it right and be like, it's not your fault. Like, I gave her my best Robin Williams.
She just worked there. Hey, shout out to Let's School checking in, saying Max Brosmer will be the
what's
answer
up,
to
fellas?
a trivia question in 20 years. School, fellas.
Yeah. And the question will be something along the lines of which undrafted free agent rookie started for the Minnesota Vikings that lost a game by more points than any other quarterback in the history of quarterbacks?
It's good this is a good Jeopardy trivia question, trying to predict it ahead of time. I like it.
Yeah.
My do better this week, Adam. It's also for stores and kind of restricting your purchases, because one of the things that I know that my wife wants for Christmas is a brand new phone, because she loves taking pictures. And when you love taking pictures and there's constantly technology updates to phones, like the camera's going to get better. So I just know that every 3 or 4 years that for Christmas, I know what she's going to want. She's going to want a new phone so she can take better pictures with the new phone cameras. She used to be a Nikon person and take photos that way, but it's gotten so much easier to just be able to take photos with your phone camera, because they've gotten good, and if you're good at taking photos, you can take photos with anything. So where do better comes in, one of the things I found out this week, Verizon does not make it easy for you to be able to get the phone that has all of the most features. Because what I want to be able to do, I want to be able to go out and just buy the phone outright. Like, I just want to buy the phone, put it in a box under the tree so she can open it on Christmas and go, hey, you got me a phone for Christmas. Hooray. The only way that I can upgrade the phone that actually has the telephoto lens on it is to go to the Verizon store, to go to another store and have them swap out her phone and trade it in and then get the new phone. So there's no way to make this a surprise. I just want to be able to pay the money for the cost of the phone to add to the plan. Don't make this hard. Verizon, you're making it hard. You need to do better.
This is how I know that we are sliding into the abyss as a society. Like, when you can't walk into Verizon and be like, see how I have money? I'm going to give you this money. Example. And then you're going to trade that money for the phone that you sell. Because if I'm not mistaken, I'm in a freaking store. Like, it's so outrageous that you can't do that, because I know they do make it tough on you. In fact, they want you to just put it on your bill, and it's only at 74.3% financing. You're like, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. This is the monthly cost. Like, no, I want to own my crap. And you just want to own your thing so you can surprise your wife and have a great Christmas. But instead, Verizon's ruined your Christmas because they don't want you to own anything and be happy like freaking Klaus Schwab from the WEF. It's ridiculous.
Well, the weird thing is that I could trade it in and get trade-in credit for the new phone, and then pay the difference and then own the phone. So if I can do it that way, why won't they let me just pay for it outright and keep the current phone? It makes zero sense.
It makes zero sense. Maybe they're just afraid there'll be too many loose phones on the street.
Maybe that's it.
Can't have that.
On to Better at Life.
All right, man. My Better at Life than Skip Bayless this week is for a group of people that you derided a little bit earlier in this podcast, Brandon. And that is for all the 12s that showed up down in Tennessee, the Tennessee Seahawkers, and everybody that was there. It was wild to see how many of all y'all were down there and just walking up and down Broadway there, downtown Nashville, and just seeing Seahawks gear everywhere, hearing Seahawks chants everywhere, watching the boys roll out of the tunnel in the stadium and the roar that came along with that, and Leo out there doing his sack celebration, arms in the air, and everybody getting up and doing the same thing back, and seeing us make more noise on third down, even if it wasn't a lot of noise because, again, we're on vacation, but still more noise than the poor Titans fans that were there, according to the dude next to me, quote unquote, just for the vibes, because it was that kind of season for them. So to all you 12s that made the journey and all your 12s that are based there in Nashville, excellent job by you. We came out, we took over. Mike noticed, the players noticed. It was a lot of fun. So to all you 12s, better at life than Skip Bayless.
Oh, I can't go any higher than that. I have to double down on the better at life for all the Seahawks fans that made the trip. Shoot, There,
See,
Mike
I
McDonald,
knew you'd want to get on board. I knew.
I did want to get on board. Plus, my better at life, it can wait till next week. And, and I wanted to recognize too that Coach Mike called it out because there were plane flights full of 12s. Whether it wasn't just from Seattle to Tennessee. He talked about how the Phoenix flight, they were doing Seahawks chants on the flight from Phoenix, and coming back for us. Going to Salt Lake, we had multiple Seahawks fans. So a lot of people making the trip to go to Nashville, and it's the perfect time of year to do it too. And an easy game to get into. There were quite a few Titans fans who were there, but yeah, a lot of Seahawks fans filling out the lower bowl. And when at the last minute you can get a seat to the game and a plane ticket for the price that it would probably cost you to get into a game at Lumen, yeah, you're going to do that because then it turns into a fun trip and you get to see a city like Nashville that was a really fun place to visit.
It was a great time. It was hard to do with a frown, and I even tried, couldn't do it. It was impossible.
You did frown a little bit the morning of the tailgate, having to get up at 8 o'clock to be at the tailgate around 9:30.
Okay, well, to be fair,
just saying that's the one time I saw a frown.
It's true. And all I needed was 5 minutes. That's all I asked for. I just needed 5 minutes without music and dancing and smiles and all that because I love Clinton Bonner more than I could put into words. But he's one of those icky morning people, and it really just rubs you the wrong way when maybe you were up really late the night before drinking tons of beers because that's what you were doing.
Yeah, maybe an honorary better at life to Clinton for making breakfast on the mornings that he was there.
Dude, he took care of us like a champ on that trip, man. Like, he's the best. It was amazing. It was like 3-course breakfast.
Yeah.
Like,
when you're a morning
I don't even get that at
person
home
and you can
anymore. Brittany Baton switched that on me when we first got together. She used to cook breakfast for me. Now it's just dinner. So I guess maybe I'll take her shoes away. She can't be allowed out of the kitchen. We can't have this.
Maybe you just need to bring in Clinton to help be your in-house butler and breakfast cook.
And hype man, because he is awesome at that too. Yeah. Maybe that's what needs to happen. But I don't think Britt will allow for it.
Oh, well, there's still time. There's still time for you to get that worked out. But our Seahawks coming up, they're going to get it worked out against this Minnesota Vikings team. Yes, not very strong in terms of record, but the Seahawks can close out this November with just the one loss to the Rams. As I was looking back on the schedule, the 3 losses that the Seahawks have had, they've had one in September, one in October, one so far in November. They gotta get that win though against the Vikings to make it only one loss in November, and I think they're going to do it against the Vikings, Adam.
Well, there you have it. It's a lock. We can't possibly lose this game. We've already lost our one November game, and it's on to the Super Bowl.
And I think with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.